like to remind everyone that this show is brought to you by the Dolphin Wars.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. Good morning, wherever you're at, and welcome to King Dolphin Television. I am Raymond, author of the Dolphin Wars series of books, and I want to welcome the best pod in YouTube. I hope you are doing well today, and today we have the return of one of the veterans that you saw on last year's Veterans Day panel. I am honored to have Dr. Catherine Kamerling return to talk about a serious subject in these days, post-pandemic, etc., etc. As always, before we begin, if you like what King Dolphin Television is doing, please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, and always comment. I will answer every one of your comments. Also, if you know any creators or people who do interesting things, please reach out to me with their information. The wrenches are going to put my contact information in the chat, and so I would like to welcome all of you. First off, welcome, Kat. Thank you for coming back again.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Raymond. Happy to be
here. Yeah, glad to have you. Before we get started, we shall welcome who all are here right now. We have lurking as she's doing paperwork at the hospital. We have Wendy Webb, the trauma warrior. We have my producer and my other half, Sandra. Hello, honey. We have the first in and the last out, Legatus Legionnaire. We have John Rendell, and we have, of course, I gotta do this. And of course, we have the favorite bear, and the growler. Start up the blast, Cuba. Hey, it's always lighthearted here at King Dolphin TV. And we'll welcome others as we go to the end of the show. But let us get started. I'm going to do a short bio on Kat, Dr. Catherine Kamerling. She has 30 years of teaching, leadership, and resilience experience. Currently works for the federal government as an advanced leadership instructor, and she is the owner of the Resilience Retreat Center in Charlestown, West Virginia. Her undergraduate and master's degrees are in education from the University of Minnesota. She received her leadership and organizational psychology doctorate at William James College, where her research focus was the neuroscience of resilience. She's certified as a master trainer and master performance consultant, and is also trained to conduct the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, in the EQ-I 2.0 emotional intelligence assessment, and many other instruments. Kat retired from the U.S. Army in 2010 as a lieutenant colonel after 24 years of service, holding multiple leadership positions from platoon leader through battalion commander, and led soldiers in combat as an engineer officer. Kat, first, I would like to say thank you for your service.
Thanks, Raymond. Thanks for yours.
Thank you.
And thanks to everybody on the show that has service as well.
Yep. And so we shall get started as we usually do here. I will ask questions to break the ice. You've been on before, so you know what a interesting crew we have here.
Yes.
And so we will do that. So it doesn't take much of a breaking the ice. I know you have a presentation about your center that we'll do later on. And then, as always, we will open it up to the chat for whatever questions they may have. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun and hopefully learn stuff. Snorter Pooper says, hello, Kat.
Hello.
And Legata says, serious with the pod? Yeah, well, we're going to try. This is, or is that
not too serious?
Yeah, not too serious. Or is that why so serious? And then he says, ooh, a brain doctor. We're in trouble.
Yeah.
And so, and won't that sync out our polar bear? All right. So let us get started here. Let's see. So I've gone over your bio. Very impressive. Very impressive. Anything else that you want to provide in your as a background?
Well, Raymond, you know that I use a service dog.
Yes.
And he's with me all the time. Yeah, the famous Akina. He's with me here. You might hear him snoring.
Well, that's okay.
He helps me get around. So if anybody else has a service dog, let me know. But if anybody has questions about a service dog.
Yeah, this is actually your second. You had Mr. Otis.
I did. I had Mr. Otis first, and then he retired, and now it's Akina.
Yes. Yes, and you're very knowledgeable in the process of getting service dogs. The process of their training and how to acquire one and the various rules and regulations.
Yeah, especially with the VA.
Yeah. Well, one thing that surprised me when you talked to me about it is that a service dog is a medical instrument. Thus, that takes all, because that means the veteran care is paid for by the VA.
Yes. So he's considered, like you said, a medical instrument, like a cane or a wheelchair. In fact, I call him my cute cane. He helps me with mobility. And the VA pays for his health care. So he has like a pet insurance program that's his health care is completely covered. So my only expense is food. He eats plenty.
Yeah. I have my share in helping him there. I've corrected him.
Right. Yeah, he knows Raymond every day. He looks for Raymond every day, and Raymond gives him treats. So
yes, he's a good boy. So and you could see on the splash page there's a picture of Kat and Keener.
Yeah.
So now I know you're not a counselor, so if you can go a little bit into what is your field of study?
Yeah, so I am not a clinical psychologist, although I am a psychologist, but I look at more the positive side of psychology. So I don't do diagnosis, I don't do treatment, but I stand more the positive side of things, and I look at prevention, and particularly in organizations with regards to leadership and how people show up at work. And but my Resilience Retreat Center is really focused around helping people preventing them from needing therapy. Not that mine is a treatment, but it can, if you can build up your resilience, it's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets, and you can thrive amidst chaos.
Okay. So what is the official definition of resiliency? I hear resiliency all the time, but
Yeah.
and I know somewhat of it, but I'm sure for the audience, this is a new term.
Most people talk about resilience as the ability to bounce back after a stressor. And I think it's actually more than that. It's about thriving amidst challenging time. And, you know, it sounds static, but it's like it never changes, but it really changes all the time. And it kind of depends on the situation we're in, the time of our life, what we're doing. And so it's really about being able to bend and not break under stress.
Okay. All right. And okay, the big question then is, what made you decide to open the center?
I really felt there was a need for this. A lot of people think, you know, things just happen to them and there's nothing they can do to improve their situation. But I've kind of found that with training and practice, people can improve their resilience. And we're not just subject to our own thoughts and our own issues, because we can get stuck there sometimes.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. So, tell us about the services that you provide.
So, I can kind of share a little bit about the Resilience Retreat Center and talk a little bit more about resilience with the presentation, if that would be helpful.
That would be great.
Okay.
And while she's setting that up, there is the website to the Resilience Retreat Center.
Oh. All right, here we go.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Let me know when you can see it.
All right, there we go.
Okay. So all the pictures you're going to see tonight are from our farm, because we are located in Charlestown, West Virginia, right along the Shenandoah River. And we are located on the Grass is Greener farm. It's our 70-acre working farm. And just by having such a beautiful location, it helps people increase their resilience. So we've talked a little bit about resilience, but I think this picture really depicts it well. We have a young seedling and it's raining. And what's interesting about plants from a farming perspective is that it actually needs the stress to grow stronger. If a plant doesn't have wind or rain or other stressors, it won't grow. So by the force of rain pouring down on it, it makes the stem grow thicker and stronger, and the leaves to grow more profusely. So that's kind of how I think of resilience, is that without, the stress, we aren't actually thriving. And this is a picture of Leo, our livestock guardian. And I think of resilience like a tank of water. It's constantly changing and going up or going down. And so like a livestock water tank on a farm, things change. The level of water in that stock tank changes all the time, whether animals are drinking out of it, or maybe Leo's playing in it, or maybe I'm filling it with a hose. The level is constantly changing. But the key to it is awareness. If we're not aware of how we're doing and checking and thinking about the conditions that we're exposed to, we may not be aware of our own resilience. So as a farmer, I'm always looking at the weather. If it's going to be hot, I know the animals are going to be drinking more, and I'm going to need to check that water level more frequently to make sure that it's there for them to drink. So what I'd like to do is kind of ask the audience, which turkey do you think you are feeling like? Are you feeling stressed like the one on the left? Or are you feeling pretty strong and resilient like the one on the right?
Go ahead, Kat. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Sure, nobody has to actually tell us unless you're comfortable sharing, but kind of do your own little self-assessment and see how you're feeling. What's your level of resilience?
You don't have to put it in the chat, but if you could, but this might be something for you to think about.
Yeah. So, once we're aware, particularly if we're feeling like the turkey on the left, which is one of my hens right before Thanksgiving, the first step is to reduce some distress. And one of the biggest things that we do when we're stressed is we tighten up our breathing, and we tend to breathe really high in our chest, which actually increases our stress. So if you want to decrease your stress right now, all you have to do is breathing through your nose, take a nice deep breath, and allow the air to come out more slowly than it came in. And you do that maybe 3 times, and that will reduce your stress level immediately. So maybe we could try this one together. So everybody breathe in through your nose. Just hold it real briefly and slowly exhale through your nose if you're able. Nice and slow. And just do that 2 or 3 more times. Notice where your breathing is, your belly expanding and contracting. And at the end, you should feel a little bit calmer than you did before. So that's an immediate stress relief. Another one that's a little bit more longer term, and people have a lot of thoughts about meditation. But meditation, there's a lot of research to show that meditation works very, very well in helping to mitigate stress and make us more resilient. There's over 200 different types of meditation, everything from prayer to something like a transcendental meditation, which is a little bit more complex. But there's a ton of great free apps on the web. Everything from Calm to Insight Timer, lots of free apps on the web if you want to learn how to meditate. The research shows that meditation for about 10 minutes a day has some real positive effects on our state of mind and our physiology, on how our body is operating. Another one to reduce your distress is to talk to somebody you trust. Maybe it's a friend or a coworker or a family member. This happens to be my husband, and we're sitting and chatting and talking about the farm while we're looking at the Shenandoah River. And just being able to talk things out and verbalize what we're thinking and feeling can make a big difference. And sleep is another research-based way to mitigate stress. This is a picture of my brand new piglets. I just had a sow that gave birth to 10 piglets. And it's funny how they can just drop down and fall asleep wherever they are. And the research really shows that adequate sleep is foundational to resilience and taking care of stress. And then exercise. And it doesn't mean you have to go out and run around like my little dog Ghost here, but just getting out and moving, if you're walking or whatever your ability is, to get outside, get some fresh air, makes a big difference. And that helps, all those things help to reduce the stress levels in our bodies, both physiologically and mentally. And then the second step is to increase some positivity. This photo I took on it was earlier this spring, and it was one of those kind of crisp spring mornings where all of a sudden I looked up and I saw this light coming through the trees, and the mist in the field behind it. It was like, wow, if I could just reproduce that feeling, that's what positivity feels like. It's like, holy cow. The use of humor, there's some really good research to show that laughing and having a good time, like Leo is here being a goofball, really increases the positive chemicals in our brains and helps us recover from stress. And if we can express gratitude, and this is a formal expression, whether it's verbal or you could write it like in a journal, if people are journalers, expressing gratitude, maybe one or two good things that happen throughout the day, or writing a thank you note to somebody that's helped you. Really, the research shows that that increases the positivity in our brains as well. And then changing our perspective. Sometimes if we look at things from a different perspective, instead of a weakness perspective or a scarcity perspective, we can think of it from a strengths perspective. So we all have challenges in life. We all have struggles. And rather than thinking about how those things wear us down, what strengths are we building from those challenges? What have we learned that has helped to make us be stronger? And then the third step is to really help somebody else. There's some great research. This is one of my turkey hens with her babies. She's an awesome mom. The research really is starting to show that those people who get out and help somebody else, whether they're volunteering or just helping a friend, that it shows that it can help us get outside of our own problems and our own worries. And by helping somebody else, it helps us feel better. And of course, how could we not go, without baby pictures? These are baby turkeys that hatched this spring. And then the last step is to transcend our own selves. This was a picture I took one night out. I was out doing chores with taking care of the horses, and I looked back, and there was this sunset, and it really filled me with a lot of gratitude and a sense of how lucky I am, despite all the challenges that I've had. And then practicing hobbies. One of my favorite activities is horseback riding, although I have trouble getting on, but once I'm on, I'm fine. And I can't do anything fast, but I can still ride. And so, although it may have changed, it's still something that's enjoyable for me. And I'm sure all of you have hobbies that when you do them, you kind of feel like the planets have realigned and you feel better after you've done those hobbies, whether it's flying or golfing or whatever it is. And then there's some really interesting newer research that shows that just getting outside and spending time in nature, like I saw this little fawn one day on the road. I tried not to run it over, and just getting out and spending time in nature helps to boost our brain chemicals and make us feel better. As little as 20 minutes, 3 times a week can make a big difference. And then experiencing awe. I really experienced this. There was a frosty morning last winter where everything was coated in this kind of icy glaze. And I was just, everything looked like diamonds, just sparkling in the morning sun as it came up. And I was filled with that feeling of awe. And sometimes when we can feel that feeling, it can help to make us more resilient as well. So that's just a little tour of our farm and the Resilience Retreat Center, and a little bit about what we do. So what questions do people have?
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. Well, since you've been up, what is the scope? Are you just currently in the local area, or have people come from nationwide?
Yeah, I've had people from DC and Maryland so far, and I help them reconnect to all the things that I just talked about. So I design programs for them to help them balance their resilience and help them grow those things that will help them become more resilient so they can weather those storms of life. Okay.
Do you make them do chores?
I don't make them do chores. But
so you're not a dude ranch.
No. The animals are there if they want. Sometimes people want to go brush a horse because that can be very soothing, especially to a lot of veterans or people that have experienced trauma. Connecting with an animal like a horse can really help them reconnect to themselves. So I use the animals not like as a petting zoo or as chores, but to help them kind of reconnect with themselves and see themselves as strong and resilient.
Okay. And I think at this point, I'm going to start reading some comments out there because we did have the turkey question.
The turkey question.
Yes, we have some answers to the turkey question. And in the meantime, please put your questions out there, and we'll get to them. Wendy Trauma Warrior says, I've seen patients with service. If you hear the clicking in the background, that is Snoopy, of course. Hail to Snoopy. I've seen patients with service dogs at the hospital. They are welcomed healthcare professionals.
They are. Service dogs do a lot, especially with veterans that have experienced trauma and PTSD. The dogs can be really, really helpful to help people with their treatment.
Yeah, but on the flip side, I have seen some that claim to have service dogs.
Oh yeah. Yep, we've been attacked by service dogs.
Yeah. So a service dog is it takes a lot of training and a lot of paperwork to get a proper service dog.
Yeah, Aquinas had about 2 years of training, and I had to go up to New York for about 2 weeks to learn everything that he learned. And every year I have to recertify that we are safe together and he's still performing the tasks that I need him to perform, and to make sure that we're both safe. And there's a lot of other, veterinary kinds of things that he has to go through to make sure he's physically able to do his job.
Okay. Let's see. Now, Snortopupus says, I'd be a very fat, content turkey if I was a turkey.
Kind of like that big Tom on the right that you saw.
Yeah. Legatus says, I like the one on the left as I know I will feed and feed a lot. One of the right looks ready for a Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, they're delicious. If you've never had a Heritage free-range turkey, they're awesome. I sold out last year. I'm raising about 50 this year.
Oh, wow. And the pre-orders are already taken care of.
Pre-orders are already coming in, yes.
Wendy, Trauma Warrior, says, I practice deep breathing to control my heart rate and stay focused during trauma surgery.
That is wonderful, Wendy. Yes, it is so important to breathe. It just changes your whole body state from head to toe, and changes your mental state. That's one of the best things that you can do right in the moment.
Okay. And then about sleep, I think Legata says, I think Snort has the sleep part down to an art form. Yes. Yes. And then let's see. Laughing.
Yes.
Laughing is breaking the pod panel every just cuz count. Oh, yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
In fact, there are groups over in, I think it's Japan, that they get together like once a week and they just start laughing. And pretty soon everybody's laughing and then everybody feels good. So they just practice laughing. So it does make a difference. Humor works.
All right. Well, we have a lot of humor in this in the pod here, especially on Saturday nights. Okay. John Rendell says, genealogy is a good hobby until you find out things.
Yeah, I suppose. Could be surprises.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Nature plus exercise equals walking in a park, or do you want to separate the two?
Oh, no, combine them. That's great. You're getting a 2 for 1. Yeah, the research shows that when you exercise out in nature, it exponentially increases the benefits. So, yes, combine them. That's great.
Okay. Let's see. John Rendell says, I found that cemeteries are very relaxing. Better kept ones, especially. Well, look, the one we have the one that's in Harper's Ferry.
Yeah, they're generally pretty quiet places.
Yeah.
and it's interesting to kind of think about the people that are there and what their lives might have been. And that can be, I mentioned transcending self. That can be a transcending self kind of activity.
Oh, okay. Let's see. John says, having one of those rare Indiana Jones moments of discovery in my family. Masonic research is great too.
I'm not familiar with Masonic research. What is that?
That would be the having to do with the Masons.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, if you want to put something out there.
John, what is Masonic research?
Yeah. If you could put that out there and we'll continue. Snortopoopas asks, is there anything one should not do around somebody's service dog?
Yeah, it happens all the time. People try and distract them. Service dogs are trained to focus exclusively on their handler, and they have to have a lot of self-discipline to do that and ignore everything else around them, all the smells, all the sounds, all the sights. And when people come up to them and say, "Come here, little doggy," and they try and pet them, it gets really exhausting for them. So the best thing to do when you're around a service dog is just to ignore them. And if you do want to pet them, to ask the handler. So I can give my service dog a command so that he doesn't have to pay attention to me for a few minutes, and he can go say hi to somebody. And that way he can enjoy somebody petting him, and then they get the benefit of, being able to pet him too. So, but it's best to ask that handler first.
And of course, Sandra says,
feeding without permission.
Raymond, I ask. I can't help
Raymond
it.
Does ask. Yes, he does.
I can't help it. He just scurries toward me.
Yeah, right. He's got Raymond trained.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Let's see. Snorter Pooper says, I listen to audiobooks at sleep time. I've slept through several wars and more than a few presidencies. Sometimes the dreams get strange.
I love that, Snorter Poopus. That's a great way to fall asleep, and listening to audiobooks or calming music, and even just white noise. There's some great research to show that 143 decibels, I think, is a very calming level of sound to our brains. So your audiobooks must be in there somewhere.
All right. Regatas asks, when someone needs more than just a mind reset, do you also help with referrals, such as money, financial mentors, as money does cause a lot of stress for some people?
Absolutely. I've had folks that needed more clinical work. I've had folks that have needed some financial assistance and coaching, because that has been a source of their stress. So yes, I do referrals.
Okay. And John answers your question. Researching the Masonic history of Pennsylvania, my family's history in it, the building of many towns early on by the Masons, etc. See Pennsylvania Grand Lodge. Also, George Washington. Okay, where is it?
Masonic Memorial. Wow, that's right.
Masonic
in Alexandria. Memorial. Okay. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was a whole Masonic history in this country, but I suppose there is, because they were so involved in building things.
Yeah. I actually happened to, I told John, on my last trip to Harper's Ferry, I actually saw the Masonic Lodge in Harper's Ferry, right next to the bakery. Right next to the bakery.
Well, that's always good. You get to go to the bakery.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Legatus asks, so a service dog gets overstimulated?
So they don't get overstimulated and like freak out like some dogs do, but it just makes them really tired if they are constantly being distracted by things. It's just harder work for them.
Yeah.
So yeah. But they don't freak out or anything.
Okay.
Some dogs, when they get overstimulated, they kind of go nutso.
Yeah. Keener is one of the most mellow dogs.
Yes.
Let's see.
He's still asleep.
Champion napper.
He is a champion napper.
Yeah. Legatus asks, if someone is looking for a vacation, what is the best time of the year to go? What is the usual wait time to get in?
Yeah. So I'm assuming about the Resilience Retreat Center, that question's directed at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I take a lot of clients in the spring and the fall. The summer gets a little warm, but I'll still take clients, and we just do stuff in the morning. The winter gets a little chilly. But spring and fall are absolutely stunning around here with the fall colors and then all the spring flowers and flowering trees. So gorgeous.
How far a walk is it from your like the house area to the river?
Well, it's about 150 feet down a cliff to get to the river.
Oh.
But we've got about 3.5 miles of trails cut onto the property through the woods and through pastures, and so we've got all sorts of hiking trails around.
Mm-hmm.
We take folks down to the river if they would like to go down to the river to kayak or float. Some people like to float on the Shenandoah River. That can be very relaxing. So we'll take clients down there.
Okay. You don't have. They have to stay in hotels at the town if they want to.
Yeah. So right now I don't have accommodations. That's in the future. What people normally do is stay in B&Bs, a bed and breakfast in Charlestown or Harpers Ferry, and then come to the farm for their day retreats. Okay. And with the retreat, you get free access to the farm 24. Well, not 24/7. We don't want people here at night getting hurt, but dawn to dusk. Even when we don't have an activity specifically planned for them, if they just want to go walk around and take pictures or hang out with the horses or look at the chickens or whatever they want to do, they can do it on the farm.
Okay. So do you have a barn per se, or?
I do.
Oh, you do.
Yep. I've got a barn. Right now it's full of chickens, but we clean it out when I have clients, and we do stuff in there when it's raining. Oh, okay. Otherwise, we try and be outside as much as we can because of the benefits of being outside.
Yeah, out in nature.
Yep.
Yeah. And having been there, that is a magnificent farm area. It is magnificent, if I can say so myself. Let's see. Come on, guys, ask questions.
Or what? I'd love to. Pudgy Peaks, Buzzy Bees are upset outside Pudgy Waves.
Oh, so we gotta wait. No question from Pudgy yet.
No question. I like his eagle. We have eagles that fly around over the river all the time. I saw one yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come and fish along the river, and they hang out with the vultures and eagles all the time.
Okay. Okay. Let's see. We're not leaving without the hard-hitting question, Pudgy, so you better get over here. I've warned her. Let's see.
What do people do to increase their resilience? I'd love to hear that.
Yeah. Please.
What makes you stronger?
Yeah.
What helps you survive and thrive during times of stress?
Yes, please do. Put that out there as I go through. This is a good question. Is it more a ranch?
Yeah, more of a ranch. So I've got forest, I've got fields. I don't have like major crops like wheat or anything like that, but I've got pigs and turkeys and chickens and horses, and I've got a couple mini donkeys, and of course Leo, the livestock guardian. So we got a little bit of everything. And
unfortunately, you've had coyotes visit.
Oh yeah, we've had fox and coyotes that have buffeted on the chickens. We just experienced that about 2 weeks ago.
Oh man.
Yeah, we lost a bunch of our chickens.
Oh, 2 weeks ago. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's life on a farm. You're always trying to keep people fed, watered, and alive.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. Okay. Snort says, I think dogs. I think dogs make the best service animals, but what other types of animals also work? P.S.
That's a
bears-
great question because it recently just changed.
Oh,
It used to be almost any animal,
mhm.
but now they've tightened that up to pretty much be dogs and miniature horses. Because people were bringing their service peacocks onto flights, and this is my service. What was the tarantula? Yeah, that's not really a service animal. But any animal like dogs that can serve, that can perform a task that's needed because of a disability that somebody has. So people that have mini horses, a lot of them have mobility issues, and they use the horse for balance. And I even know of a couple mini guide horses that help with vision impairment.
Okay.
But it's not as popular. But the nice thing about a mini horse is they live about twice as long as a dog does. A dog really can only be in service around 8 to 10 years, whereas a mini horse can serve, almost 20.
Okay. Unfortunately, you can't get them like on flights or cruise ships or anything like that.
Yeah, it's tough to take a mini horse on a plane, and right now only dogs I think are allowed on the planes.
Okay. Snort says, P.S. bears would not work too well. Nah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a good.
No, they'd eat the people bothering them. Hello, Pudgy Hedgehog. Mr. Raymond gets Morse code. I wonder what that's about. Baby goats, as long as it's just a YouTube video.
Oh, they're cute.
Yeah.
Did we do sleigh rides? So we haven't had last winter. We didn't get any snow.
No,
so
we didn't.
We didn't do any. Couldn't do anything like that. And it's because of my own physical disabilities. It's a lot of work to hitch some big horses up to a sleigh. And although I do have a draft horse, I don't have a harness for him. I would love to do sleigh rides, though. I think that would be a hoot.
Your property's big enough to do it.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But snow is a challenge.
Yeah.
Right? Last year, and even the year before.
Yeah, we didn't get much from the last couple of years.
No.
Okay, here we go. All right, so Mr. Raymond gets Morse code. What is your favorite cookie? Stop.
Oh, chocolate chip.
There you go, Pudgy.
You know that.
Chocolate chip. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
With some, you know what's really good? If you make your own chocolate chip cookies, is you put some rum in there.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Rum infused chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Hey, Sandra, keep that in mind. All right. Hey, Pudgy Hedgehog. Let's see. Sandra says prayer and recoil therapy.
Yes, recoil therapy, definitely.
Yeah.
And prayer. That's a form of meditation.
Yep.
And recoil therapy is really good for reducing stress. It can be very cathartic to have some recoil therapy.
Do you actually have a range to do it? Or
we don't have a formal range, but we do some shooting on the property with silencers, because it freaks the animals out, all the noise.
Gotcha.
So we use silencers.
Okay. And YouTube, legal disclaimer to YouTube, silencers are legal in West Virginia.
With
the fact, you have to have, with the
ATF has to approve it.
Yep. So just letting you know. Okay. John says prayer, fellowship with my Masonic brothers. And when a bad memory hits, I tell myself that was a million years ago.
Ah,
Works surprisingly well.
that's great, John. And I'd also ask you what strengths have you gotten from your challenges?
Oh, that's a good question.
What have you learned, or what strengths have you developed as a result of those challenges in life?
Okay.
Smarter poopus.
I work on my odd little projects on the computer, like language research. I find it relaxing as long as the computer is cooperating and my paws can avoid making too many typos. Not just your paws. Not just your paws. I have.
Yeah, that's great. Language research. That's interesting. Is that computer language or language? What is that? I wonder.
Yeah. Let us know, Snort. Let's see. Okay. Pudgy's on Morse code. Morse code machine going. Pudgy dug outside. Buzzy beats mad. Stop. All right.
Okay.
See? Humor. Humor is good.
Humor is good.
For those who have allergies to animals, is that a warning you give them before signing up? Do you have anything if one's allergies do go into overdrive?
Oh yes, definitely. If somebody has, I always do an intake interview with folks about what they'd like to accomplish, if they have any medical issues that I need to be aware of, including allergies. And if they have something like allergies to bees, I don't keep bees right now, but there's bees on the property somewhere. So I have them bring whatever EpiPen or whatever they need for those things.
Okay. This is my service. This is my service. Yeah. Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that would work. Keeps ants away.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Here's a good. Do you have any advice on how to help my younger trauma nurses? This is from Wendy Trauma Warrior.
Yes.
On how to help my younger trauma nurses cope short-term after a bad emotional trauma.
Yeah. It's all those things that I mentioned in the stress column. So exercise, talking about it, meditation, all those things that reduce the distress, especially the talking about it. And there's a lot of really good research to show that talking about something, even if it's not with a clinician, you're just talking about an event after it's happened makes a big difference in processing it. Because sometimes when somebody goes through a challenge like an emotional trauma or things that nurses go through, sometimes they feel like they're the only ones feeling the way that they're feeling. And just by knowing that there's other people that are feeling the way they feel too, can make a big difference. And then getting to a point where I know there's a time and a place, certainly for gallows humor, but I know that occupations like nursing, police, firefighters, EMTs, they use a lot of really dark humor to help them cope as well. Yeah. But of course, there's a time and appropriate place for all of that. But
right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, well, already answered, Pudgy, but Morse code machine going. What is nice lady's favorite cookie stop? Chocolate chip cookie with rum in it.
Yeah.
That does sound good. Let's see. John Rendell says also the Just Cuz streams on King Dolphin TV is great therapy for me. Well, thank you, John. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're helping other people there, Raymond.
Yeah. Thank you. We did the I had the conversation with Wendy a while back about after their traumatic situation, and evidently the trauma team was listening either live or on the replay, and it helped them. So
cool.
Yeah, I'd like to think I make a difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Trying to see what John's talking about here. Goddess. He says during Warhammer times with a trip on a wagon pulled by horse work as well. Similar problem with getting horse harnesses, etc.
Yeah, that's also a challenge. Just getting on a horse is a lot of fun, and going for a walk on horseback is a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't rode a horse in ages. I think I've only ridden on one horse when I was in high school. Let's see. John says patience, humility, easier to deal with people, stronger faith, more friends, brothers, gained in both respect and self-respect, and public speaking is easier also.
Look at that. Look at all those great things you've learned from challenges.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. Snorter Poopers answers, real world and invented languages. I was possessed by J.R.R. Tolkien when I was a cub, and I love studying and playing with words. Unfortunately, I've never become fluent in any.
Huh.
So
I was listening to a really interesting TED Talk the other day about language, and there's a lady on there that learns languages just by listening to other languages. Like she'll watch Mexican TV and pick up
learn Spanish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or she watches Friends, the old reruns of Friends in German, and she learned German that way.
Wow. Very cool.
That was interesting.
Yeah, now that is a flair for language.
Yeah.
Legata says, on a religious side, when one gets these life challenges, I consider it God wanting to see how you react so he can give out graces. It's not to see you fail, but to see you pass and get graces.
Yes. That's I love that perspective.
Yeah. That is a good perspective. Okay. And John says, also gained from experience of 20 years as a firefighter, realizing I am not superhuman and can't save everyone.
Yeah. Those are tough lessons, but important. Yeah. Firefighters are they're interesting people. They don't make a lot of money, but they do all these really cool things for us that we don't really realize until we're having a really bad day. And then they're there and they save us.
Yep.
And amazing people. So John, thanks for being a firefighter.
Yep.
And you're right, you can't save them all. And that's kind of a lesson I've learned on the farm. I can't save them all. A chick will get sick, and I'll try and do my best to try and save it, but sometimes they die, and it used to bug me. And now I'm like, I've done what I can do, and I just have to let it go.
Okay.
That sounds like the same lesson you've learned.
Yeah. Okay. But Morse code machine. Does Pretty Lady have suggestions about Buzzy Bees? They don't know what a Star Wars is. Stop.
I'm not tracking.
I guess they have. They're having a Star Wars argument.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know, Pudge. All depends on which Star Wars are you talking about. Let's see. Here's a good one from. I found that even working with unpleasant people can be helpful. You can learn how not to treat people.
yeah, there's a lot of learning in that as well. And I've kind of learned over the years that a lot of unpleasant people, there's something else going on in their life. And when they're unpleasant to me or to other people, it's really not about me or the other people. It's really about them. And they're struggling with something that I'm not aware of.
Yeah. Firefighter, someone who rushes into a burning building that sane people are running out of.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Same with police officers. They run towards the gunfire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you get many repeat customers, knowing they can turn to you for help? Or are you glad when you don't get a repeat business, as you know your help stuck the first time? Oh, good.
Well, we all go through different things, don't we? Some of my folks do come back for a little, not like a refresher almost. I just got done teaching an 8-week resilience course. So sometimes I do individual work and sometimes I do courses. And I just did an 8-week resilience course over the winter. And a woman just came back because she wanted a refresher on meditation. So we did that, and that was it, just real quick.
Now, your 8-week courses, are they there at the farm, or are these done via Zoom or Teams?
Yeah, they're live at the farm. So yeah, they're live at the farm, and they're kind of a mixture. I held them every Saturday from about 9 to 11, and they were a mixture of learning and practice. So we would learn, like one weekend, we would learn about meditation, and then we'd practice it. And then during the week, they would practice that particular skill and see if that was something they wanted to continue. So it was kind of like a little sampler of resilience skills that they were learning. And by the end of the course, they had this kind of repertoire of things that they could turn to that they liked, that helped them, whether it was Tai Chi or meditation or art. There's a lot of therapy in doing an artistic project or practicing gratitude, whatever it was. They were able to walk away with some new practices.
Now, when you plan your courses, are they structured? And if so, how much are they structured?
They are structured. And within that 2-hour block, we have some kind of learning events, like I'll talk, like if it's about meditation, I'll talk about meditation and what meditation does for your brain and what meditation does for your body. And then the second half of that 2-hour block, we practice.
Okay.
So it's a mixture.
Okay. And I'd like to welcome Myra Kitty to the chat. Hello, Myra.
Hello, Myra.
Okay. We have a cat and a kitty.
Yes,
Yes.
a kitty cat.
Yeah. Let's see. I think Pudgy's being invaded by bees.
Meow John.
Meow John.
Myra kitty.
And Pudgy's in. Oh, he's being invaded by bees. Ugh.
Ah,
Well, there are good bees and there are bad bees. And as Pudgy just said,
I'm convinced that hornets and wasps are evil incarnate.
yeah. And yellow jackets have mouths like truckers. Yeah.
Yeah, yellow jackets are evil.
Yes, they are.
But bumblebees and all the other the pollinators are really good.
Okay. Oh. Do you need coverage, insurance to do what you offer? Deductibles, or is it someone pays for 100% out of pocket?
That's a great question. So because it's not therapy, although what I do is therapeutic, it's not considered therapy. It is not covered by insurance, so it is private pay. And like when I offered my 8-week course, I offered scholarships.
Oh.
And the people that could pay full price helped to pay for those that couldn't afford the full price.
Okay.
That's how it kind of worked out.
Okay. And Myra meows at cat.
Yeah, meow back.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Looks like that's all the questions out there. Please, we've got some. Please provide some more questions. Now, guys, I know you were here last time when Kat was here, and yes, we you guys gave her a name,
a screen name.
You guys gave her a screen name. You remember it? Do you remember it? I know you do. I know a few of you do. Okay.
Does anybody remember it?
Yeah, come on. Okay. We'll go on to how many people can you handle at one time? What is the waiting time to get in help on average?
So my classes I keep small. I like to keep them 12 and under just because I want to build those relationships. And as far as waiting time, it's usually about 2 months because I like to do a lot of pre-work, talking to people about what their goals are, and then I design stuff for them if I'm doing individual client work.
Okay. Have you done corporate work?
I haven't yet because I'm busy with my day job.
Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. John's trying and Snort's trying.
Snortapoopas.
Yeah. Let's see. All right.
Time for the reveal, Raymond.
Here is the reveal.
Yeah.
Yes, we. Oh man. Okay. I gotta dropped off. Don't worry. I have the tools. I've got the technology. I know where it's at. Okay. Da 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 da.
There it is.
Yes, Psycho Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like the. I agree with you, Cat. I like the one on the right.
Yeah.
I'm staring deep into your soul. There she is.
That goes nicely with the motto for the Resilience Retreat Center, which is it's like a gym for your soul.
Okay. A gym for your soul. I like it. One question I had was, how much of what you're doing now has come from like your previous experiences from the Army?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of it, actually.
Okay.
I realized that I'd learned a lot from my military experience, and some of it was quite traumatic, and that I was stronger than I thought I was. And that kind of got me down the path when I retired to start thinking about this, that maybe there's other veterans or people like me that really are stronger than they thought they were.
Okay.
And learning some skills and how to build that strength and leverage those things that work for you to help build your resilience. Maybe other people could benefit from it too, because I learned.
Okay. Wendy asks, do you see people of all ages or strictly adults?
I'm just working with adults at this point. Yeah. Or I guess I would work probably with older teenagers, but not young children.
Okay.
Just because the farm it can be a challenging physical environment, and it's not dangerous per se, but we have electric fences and we live on a cliff, so young children, it wouldn't be really appropriate for a young child.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Psycho Cat. I've known a few.
Yeah.
Snort. Okay. Let's see. Wow, time has flown. This is definitely flown here. Okay. Oh, this is a good one, Snort. What you do is so rewarding. What is one of your fondest memories of working with people at the retreat? Good question, Snort.
Oh, that's a great question. So I had a client a couple years ago that really felt like he was broken. And he kept talking about how broken he was and, what wasn't working and all the struggles. He was really focused on how broken he was. And I listened to him for a little while. And then we went for a walk in the woods, and I had him kind of pick out things that he was seeing that described how he was feeling. And he went up to this cherry tree. He got this beautiful old cherry tree that I had accidentally hit it with the tractor, and it had a kind of a scar on it, and the sap had come out. And he pointed to that tree, and he said, that tree is me. And I'm like, wow, that's really deep. And then I just started asking him, how do you think the tree has maybe benefited from being hit by the tractor? And pretty soon his perspective changed, that he realized that the tree was actually stronger in the place where I'd hit it with the tractor. And then I asked him, how do you think that represents you? How are you stronger for being hit by the tractor, so to speak? And he just burst into tears. And he was like, man, I never thought about it like that before. And he realized that he was strong, and he'd gained all these things from being hit by the tractor, you know, metaphorically speaking. And so that was really rewarding for me to help him see that in himself. It was really cool.
Okay. Legata says, I've heard places use code words for when things become too much for a client to handle.
Yeah.
For example, they need to regroup before continuing.
Yeah.
Do you also use such, or is it more a per person basis?
It's kind of more of a per person basis. If we're working in a group, we'll set up some kind of guardrails for the group before we dive in, and we will set up a code word. But if it's just a one-on-one, we talk a lot up front about, hey, if this gets too heavy for you or you need a break, just let me know and we'll take a break and come back when you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't push.
All right. And how long have you been running the center?
For about 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Must have
We're
been
on our
tough.
second year.
Must have been tough during the pandemic.
It was, but it gave me a lot of, I did a lot of work outside, you know, and it gave me time to kind of set things up too.
Okay.
But yeah, we were doing stuff outside, so it wasn't that big of an issue.
Okay. All right. I'm waiting to see if there are any more questions out there. Let's see. Again, here is the Resilience Retreat Center.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the site so you could check out the website.
Great.
Okay. Even the website seems serene. I love it just looks so serene.
Well, this is a pretty special place. It's a very peaceful place here, and we make a lot of effort to keep it that way.
Okay. That is such a lovely view.
Yeah, it's the Blue Ridge Mountains there. There's the Shenandoah River. That's the view from up on the farm, about 150 feet up off of the river. That's autumn. The woods. Yeah, I just have those few pictures there.
Okay. Legatus Legionaris says, do you treat introverts and extroverts?
That's a great question. So I'm actually a very strong introvert, and I will often ask people whether they're an introvert or extrovert, because I know introverts need time to think about things before they're ready to talk about them, and extroverts often want to talk about something to process it verbally, and sometimes what comes out of their mouth at first is not really where they end up. So they think as they speak, whereas an introvert often needs to think before they speak.
Okay.
So I don't, I ask people, how do you like to communicate? And I can kind of pick up on how people, whether they're an introvert or extrovert also.
Okay. That was a good question, Legatus.
That's a great question.
Looking over the website, I would love to go prowling in the woods.
Yeah. Hey, you might meet another bear. We have
Yeah.
had bear on the property.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Last fall, we had one. We saw him on our trail cam. I think he was just passing through, but he was there for a little while. He didn't do anything. He was just walking around.
Oh, okay. There, we've got one of your cousins, Snort. Okay. Are there any final questions before we wrap this up? Kat, do you want to ask the chat anything?
Let's see. Who's the most resilient person you know and why?
Oh, good one.
How's that?
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Come up with a question or come up with your answers. Maybe I could hook up with a nice lady bear.
I think the one that came through was a male, but
Ooh. I know who I'd pick.
who'd you pick?
I would pick Sandra.
Yeah?
Maybe it's the nature of her job,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's what everything that she's done. I know a little bit. I persuaded her to do, but you know, being a nurse herself, I know she's got to handle a lot of tough things, but she also finds the way to do things like do civil air patrol, do fly airplanes, play piano. We pretty much follow the same hobbies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think she's probably the most resilient I know.
Good for you, Sandra.
And Snorta Poopa says, that would be my dearly departed Murber. She was one tough old mama bear.
Aw.
Yeah. Way to go, Snort. Anybody else? Who's the most resilient person you know?
And why?
And why? Got a lot of introverts in here. Let's see. Oh. If one sends someone to your retreat, prepaid for it, and they are reluctant to open up or wants to leave, is that something that has happened?
Oh, I've never had anybody do that. I did have a call from a woman who wanted to send her husband. But he wasn't really having it. And so I stay away from that. It's got to be the person that wants to be here. And if they don't want to be here, they're not going to get anything out of it. So what's the point, right?
Mm-hmm. The Ginger Menace says, my mom. She was a single mom of 5 before she met my stepdad.
Oh, bless her heart. Wow. 5 kids, single mom. That is a resilient person. Wow.
Hello, the Ginger Menace.
Thank you, Ginger Menace.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Okay, I'm going to give it about 5 more minutes, and then we're going to. Ginger Menace says she still is. Good. Good for her. Good for her.
Good for her.
Yes, good for her. And what wife does not want to send their hubby away for them to get fixed?
Yeah. Interesting.
But then you have the other question. Define fixed.
Yeah, what does fixed mean? I'm not fixed. Yeah. We're all works in progress, aren't we?
Yes, yes. Not vet fixed.
No, no.
Okay. All right, so. Okay. Okay, well, guys, this was a fantastic session. No, I shouldn't say that. That sounds
like therapy.
I know it sounds like therapy. This was a great show.
A fun time.
Yes, it was a fun time. So we're going to go to. Actually, I'm vamping because I need to get to my calendar. So show notes. Okay. All right. All right. Let us go to show notes. You've seen this, so I know you're not going to be overly disturbed.
It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. With Mr. Raymond and Sandra too. It's time for show notes. Done.
Okay, guys, this was another great interview. Kat, again, it was a great time with you.
Thank you, Raymond. King Dolphin.
Yes. Okay, on June 7th, wow, we're already into June. We will go, Rod Thunderheart will be coming in to talk about his book, See Through Love. On the 14th, we're going to have the Comic Relief Crusader come visit, update us on what's been going on with him, and we'll talk about our project together. We will have on the 21st, Stark of Arian, and on the 28th, you know him, you're afraid of him, he's the evil genius, Fet for Hire. So that is what is on the Wednesday shows. This Saturday, we will have a Just Cuz. It may be later, depending on what time I get back from Udvar-Hazy. But I'm on a field trip there. But I'll let you know. On the 10th, we'll have our music theme day, where we will have music as long as we can keep it copyright compliant. On the 17th, I will be on away mission, so I'll probably do a Sunday mobile Just Cuz, because I'll be out of town with family. And so again, Just Cuz's, except for what I have just said, will be normally on Saturdays, unless I am on away missions. But I will let you know. Let's see. Okay. Oh, there's some more questions. Lord says, show notes always disturbs me. Yeah. And Legata says, what is the furthest away someone had to travel to get to your treat?
I had a friend from California come in.
Oh, from California. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm not sure who you're talking about here. Snort, if you could. It was wonderful. Oh, okay. Talking about you, Kat. It was wonderful. Such a nice human you are.
Thank you, Startopupus.
And Ginger Menace says, thank you, Kat.
Thanks, Ginger Menace.
And Legata says, do you accept international customers?
Sure.
All right. Okay. And Sandra says, do a King Dolphin raid on Pop Culture Breakdown. And there's the link. And one more time. Here is Kat's Resilience Retreat Center. Please check it out and see if it may be a place to come, develop resiliency. I was going to say fine-tune your mind, but I don't know. Nah.
That sounds too therapeutic.
Yes, we got to stay away from the therapy.
Yeah.
This is a fun place to be. Do you play games? Do you like?
We can, yeah.
Games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I could see a volleyball court, a volleyball net up there, and a bunch of people doing volleyball.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the show notes.
All right.
This segment is brought to you by thedolphinboys.com. It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. It's time for show notes. With Mr. Raymond and Sandra too. It's time for show notes.
Done. Okay, so I would like to thank everybody in the chat. And again, like everybody, I thank you all personally because you all mean a lot to me. We had in the chat, the chatters, we had Cobalt Bald Eagle. Cat loved your avatar. We had Matt G. And we had Meow Myra Kitty. Thank you all for joining the chat. And then of course my wrenches that keep things as under control as we can possibly do here. And again, thank you for all the great questions and comments.
Thanks, everybody.
I'm sure Kat enjoyed the conversation. And so Team King Dolphin consists of my producer, my wife, my other half, Sandra. Thank you, babe. And the most resilient person I know. We had Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior. Hope you got home from your hard day at work. We had John Rendell. We had the first one last out, Legatus Legionii. We had Pudgy Hedgehog and his cookie question. We had the Ginger Menace. And of course, how could we forget? Who also had some amazing questions tonight. You all did. You had great questions, great comments. You were the best.
Thanks,
Cuba. So, yes, thank you very much for being here. Snortopoopa says, take care, every human, dolphin, doggo, porter, cat, hedgehog, and ferret. Yes, you all have a good night, and we shall see you on Saturday for Just Cuz. And, Kat, I hope you come back.
Thank you, King Dolphin. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right. So everybody have a good night, and we shall see you on Saturday.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my.